You wake up to the sound of waves crashing, step onto your balcony, and take in the warm Mexican sunrise. The cost? Way less than you'd imagine. Imagine owning a beautiful home in Mexico for as little as $100,000, or even a beachfront condo for under $200,000. Sounds too good to be true? It's not. Mexico has become one of the best places for affordable real estate, and yes, foreigners can buy property here. But how much does it really cost? What's the buying process like? And how can you avoid scams? Stick with me because I'm breaking it all down, step by step, so you can turn this dream into reality. Why Mexico? There's a reason why more and more people are buying homes in Mexico. It's not just about the beaches, warm weather, or laid-back lifestyle. The cost of living is significantly lower than in the US, Canada, or Europe, which means you can afford a lot more for your money. Let's talk numbers. If you're looking for a modern condo in Mexico City, prices start at around $120,000, but you can also find smaller apartments in up-and-coming areas for under $100,000. If the beach is calling your name, you can get a cozy condo in Playa del Carmen or Tulum for around $150,000 to $250,000. Prefer a house? A charming colonial-style home in Merida or San Miguel de Allende can be yours for $150,000 to $300,000, depending on size and location. If you're after luxury, high-end beachfront villas in hotspots like Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, or Riviera Maya can go for $500,000 to over $1 million. But if you're looking for budget-friendly options, smaller towns and inland areas still offer homes for as low as $80,000 to $100,000. No matter your budget, Mexico has something for you. But let's clear up the big question: can foreigners actually own property here? Can foreigners really buy property in Mexico? Yes, you can absolutely buy property in Mexico as a foreigner. But depending on where you want to buy, there are different rules to follow. If you're buying property inland, anywhere outside the restricted zones, you can own it outright, just like in the US or Canada. However, if you're looking at property within 50 kilometers, 31 miles, of the coast or 100 kilometers, 62 miles, from a border, you'll need to go through a fideicomiso, or bank trust. Here's how it works: a Mexican bank holds the title, but you have complete control. You can sell it, rent it, or pass it on to your heirs. It's 100% legal and has been used for decades by foreign buyers. Another option, if you're buying for investment or business purposes, is setting up a Mexican corporation, which lets you own land directly. But let's get into the real details. How do you actually buy a home in Mexico? Step-by-step guide to buying a home in Mexico. The first step is to find a trusted real estate agent who understands the Mexican market and has experience working with foreign buyers. Once you find a property you love, you'll make an offer. If the seller accepts, you'll sign a purchase agreement and put down a deposit of 5 to 10% of the total price. At this stage, due diligence is crucial. You'll need to verify that the property has a clean title and no outstanding debts. a notary public, who plays a big role in real estate transactions in Mexico, will help with this process. If you're buying in a restricted zone, you'll also set up your fideicomiso through a Mexican bank, which can take a few weeks. If you're paying in cash, which is common in Mexico, the process moves quickly. However, if you need financing, your options are more limited. Mexican banks do offer mortgages, but interest rates are higher than in the US or Canada, and most foreign buyers choose to finance through home equity loans from their home country. Once everything checks out, you'll pay closing costs, typically 5 to 7% of the property price, sign the final deed, and get the keys. Congrats, you now own property in Mexico. Now, let's talk about the real costs involved so you're not caught off guard. Costs and taxes to consider. One of the best things about buying in Mexico is the low property taxes. In most areas, you'll pay just a few $100s per year, a fraction of what you'd pay in the US or Canada. Closing costs usually range from 5 to 7% of the property price. This includes notary fees, legal fees, government registration, and taxes. If you're buying a $200,000 home, expect to pay around $10,000 to $14,000 in closing costs. If you ever decide to sell, there's capital gains tax to consider. The standard rate is 25% on net profits, but there are ways to reduce this if you've owned the property for at least 3 years and it's your primary residence. If you're buying for investment, make sure to factor this into your long-term plan. But what about scams? Let's go over how to avoid costly mistakes. Tips to avoid scams and pitfalls. Buying property in Mexico is safe if you do it the right way. The biggest mistake people make is not doing their due diligence. Always verify that the title deed is clear. This means no unpaid taxes, legal disputes, or fake ownership claims. Some sellers try to sell land that isn't legally theirs, so always work with a trusted real estate agent and a real estate lawyer. Another red flag is sellers asking for large cash payments without legal documentation. Never pay in cash unless it's part of a legally registered transaction. Also, beware of deals that seem too good to be true. If someone is offering you a luxury beachfront villa for $50,000 with no paperwork, it's probably a scam. Lastly, make sure the property has proper permits and zoning. Some homes, especially in rural areas, were built without proper documentation, which can cause problems later. A lawyer will help you verify this before you buy. Final call to action. Mexico offers an incredible opportunity for affordable homeownership, whether you're looking for a vacation home, an investment, or a permanent move. Whether your budget is $100,000, $500,000, or over $1 million, there's a property waiting for you. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more real estate tips, and let me know in the comments, where in Mexico would you love to own property? Let's make your dream home a reality.